November 1917. The Western Front has been locked in blood and mud for 3 years. Millions of men are dug in from Belgium to Switzerland. Machine guns wreck no man's land. Artillery pounds day and night. And every offensive costs thousands of lives for only a few hundred yards. But let's change one thing. Instead of lumbering British Mark IV tanks grinding across the mud, a single M1A2 Abram main battle tank suddenly appears on the battlefield. A 70-ton beast nearly a century ahead of its time, a jet turbine engine that screams like thunder, armor forged from composites and depleted uranium, and a 120 smoothbore cannon that can obliterate anything in its path. So what happened when modern steel collided with the trenches of 1917? 6:15 a.m. British infantry prepared to advance at dawn, whistle blows, and soldiers climbs out of their trenches, rifle in hand. Within seconds, German machine guns cut them down by the dozen. Normally this is where the attack would die, but not today. The Abram surges forward, turbine roaring like nothing anyone has ever heard before. Dirt and mud spray from its threads as it charges into no man's land. Its main guns, a 120 high explosive round, slams into a concrete bunker. The entire structure disappears in a single blast. The machine gunner inside, who would have slaughtered hundreds, are vaporized instantly. The tank fires again. A trench line collapses under the explosion. Men are thrown into the air, and shockwave rattling helmets and shattering morale to soldiers used to the slow bark of 6-pounder guns. This is thunder from another world. 6:40 a.m. German artillery crews scramble to reposition their field guns. The 77 FK-96 is deadly against Mark IV tanks, but against the Abram, it's like throwing pebbles at a battleship. Shells crash into its armor, sparks dents, ringing metal, but the tank doesn't slow down. Its crew calmly sights a gun position and fire one round. The cannon crew and limber vanish in a ball of fire. Another shot and the second battery is gone. Where British tank might take hours to clear artillery nests, the Abram erases them in minutes. 7 a.m. Behind the Abram, British infantry surge forward normally. They would be crawling under wire, tossing grenade into dugouts, or dying by the hundred just to reach the first trench. Now they follow in the Abram's shadow, charging behind a steel giant that crushes barbed wire and trenches walls under its threads. The coaxial machine gun rattle off bursts, spraying thousands of rounds. Entire squads vanish as the Abram rakes trench lines. Horses panic and bolt. German officers scream order, trying to rally men who have never seen anything like this. 7:30 a.m. The Germans throw in their best stormtrooper, allied assault troops armed with grenades, flamethrowers, and submachine guns against British tank. They are feared. Against the Abram, they are helpless. Grenade bounce harmlessly off its armor. Fire from flamethrowers splashes across its hull without leaving more than scorch marks. Every time the tunnel rotates, another squad is cut down and bursts of machine gun fire. Men who were once the terror of Europe are turned into fleeing shadows in minutes. 8 a.m. German commander orders heavy howitzers into action. These massive guns hurl shells the size of bathtub from miles away. The ground shakes as explosives erupts around the Abram. One shell detonates just feet away, blasting mud and steel into the sky. A Mark IV would have been torn to pieces. The Abrams lurches, suspension straining, but keeps rolling, scared, battered, but alive. For German observer, it's unthinkable. Nothing survived that close to a heavy shell, yet the monster does. 8:45 a.m. The Abram pushes deeper. Entire strong points vanish under high explosive shells. Trench systems that would take entire division to capture are shredded in under an hour. German soldiers throw down rifles and runs. Officers try to stand their ground, but machine guns burst leave them in the dirt. For the first time, the stalemate is broken, not by thousands of men, but by one machine. 9:30 a.m. Panic spreads through German lines, messages raised by telegraph. A new British superweapon, some claims it's a massive armored car, other a rolling fortress. None can explain how it ignores artillery fire. Rumors fly faster than facts and morale collapses. The Abram drives straight into the second defensive line, crushing bunkers and shattering dugout soldiers. Trapped underground find themselves buried alive as the tank rolls overhead. 10:30 a.m. By now, the breakthrough is unprecedented. Trenches that once cost thousands of lives to capture are erased in a morning. German forces retreat in chaos. For the British, it looked like victory at last. But then the reality of 1917 logistics strikes back. 11 a.m. The fuel gauge drops. The Abram burns over 60 gallons an hour. In modern war, convoys of trucks would keep it running here. There is nothing. Coal-powered refineries can't produce the jet fuel it needs. Even gasoline is too dirty, fouling the turbine. Ammunition is nearly gone too. Every 120 shell fire was one step closer to empty racks. And no factory in Europe can build replacements. The Abrams still fights, another bunker destroyed, another trench line cleared, but its roar begins to fade. 11:45 a.m. The engine sputters. The treads grinds to a halt. Smoke drifts from its exhaust as silence returns to the battlefield. The Abrams sits motionless in the mud. Around it, British troops cheer swarm over trenches and secure ground that would have taken weeks to capture. Mechanics stare at the tank, pounding on armor they can't pierce and examining system they can't begin to understand. The machine that just won the morning is already finished. The aftermath for a few hours, the Abram was unstoppable. It crushed its defenses, saved thousands of Allied lives, and terrified the Germans. But it won only a battle, not a war. Without fuel, without ammunition, and without supply chain, the Abram is just one steel fortress stranded in the mud. The Great Wars rages on, millions still march. Trenches still stretch for miles, and artillery still rains day and night. One tank, no matter how advanced, cannot change the fate of a world war alone. So, what do you think? Would be a modern tank have changed history or just created a morning of chaos and legends? And if you want to see what happens when modern air power collides with Second World War, click the video on your screen now. Thanks for watching.